In worship, may we be as welcoming as Sarah and Abraham, who were quick to serve the stranger. In faith, may we proclaim that nothing is too big for God. In moments of holy surprise, may we laugh with deep, abiding joy. For God is in the holy surprise. God is in the winding path. And God is in our presence today. Let us worship holy God. Please join us in the opening hymn as you are able, seated or standing and united in one voice.
Will you please join me in the unison prayer of confession? God of unexpected joy and answered prayers, we confess that sometimes things feel too good to be true, while at other times we wonder if you hear us at all. When life unravels for the worst, we blame you. But when life unravels for the best, filling our days with holy surprise, we tend to praise ourselves, thinking we have earned this unexpected joy. Forgive us, help us to see you in our midst, and with every breath that turns into a laugh, draw us closer to you. Amen. Merciful Lord, grant to your faithful people pardon and peace, that they may be absolved from their shortcomings and serve you with a quiet mind. Lord, assure us of your forgiveness.
Good morning. While the choir is getting themselves situated up there, I wanted to do two things. One, Dave Hall did such a great job, as usual, of putting the information up here on the screen so you can see it. It's also in your bulletin. But this piece we just thought is really special, given where we are in the world right now. So you can see that it's three of the basic kind of ways of greeting in different languages. We have the Hebrew, the Arabic, and the Latin that you'll hear throughout the piece. And so you can kind of follow along and see what the translations of those are as well. And I'm also here to introduce a guest artist we have this morning. This is Megan Camilleri. She's played with us before. She is, I knew Megan from my time when I was teaching at Hart, and she is now a music teacher in Cromwell. So she is local and here, and we're just happy to have her this morning.
The Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time that God had spoken to him. Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, whom Sarah bore to him, Isaac. Then Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, as God had commanded him. Now Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. And Sarah said, "God has made me laugh. All who hear will laugh with me." Also she said, "Who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would have children? Yet I have borne him a son in his old age."
When Sarah laughs, God says to her, "Is there anything too hard for God?" Maybe today you find yourself here in this place, resigned to doubt. Maybe you, like Sarah, laugh at the possibility that something new can happen, that a dream can be realized. But Sarah's story reminds us that our disbelief can be transformed. She invites us to hold space for what seems impossible. After the years of trying and trying, Sarah just laughed because she couldn't believe things would be any different this time around. Maybe there's a place in your life today that's unraveled and you've adopted the world's cynicism. Maybe you find yourself laughing at the idea that something else could be possible. You hear the cynic expressions, "How much worse can it get?" or "It is what it is." But Sarah invites us to ask, how good can it get? What else might be possible? What started in doubt and disbelief can end in joy and wonder. I can say these words to you, you can hear Sarah's story, but we have a story in our midst of grace and mercy, of unexpected joy. I have asked our beloved Marge Murk to share her story with us today. Marge, please.
I'll move it. This is a story that began in 1960 and ended in a new beginning in 2016. It was a sad and difficult time that ended in a happy, loving way. After graduating from Columbia with a BS in nursing in 1959, can you all hear me okay? My friend and classmate asked me to go to work at Stanford Hospital in California, where her aunt lived, and we left for California in July 1959. While there, I became homesick as it was my first time so far from home, and I became depressed. Because of this situation and being a bit naive, I made a mistake and became pregnant. I flew home, spent time in a place in Massachusetts that was special for pregnant women, and gave birth to a son in October 1960. Because at the time women did not keep their babies, I was to give up my child through Children and Family Services. I was allowed to see my son 3 weeks later and then signed a release to give him up. It was one of the worst times in my life. In the spring 1961, I met my future husband, and after 2 years, we were married in 1963. I told him about my son. We settled down in Rocky Hill and brought up our 4 children here. Incidentally, they were all baptized and confirmed here along the way. Along the way, at times, I wondered about my son and wondered how he was. My son, Herb, passed away in 2013. Then, in 2016, after being away and having my mail held, I was going through it and came across an envelope with a return address I didn't recognize. I almost discarded it, but was curious. I opened it, and it was a letter from my son. I was overwhelmed. After thinking it over regarding a question in the letter about perhaps meeting, I said yes. I did not tell my children right away. I wanted to meet him and know what kind of person he was. He turned out to be a wonderful person of whom I am quite proud. I have told my family about him, and they all bonded with him and have since met him and his family and have all spent many times together and have kept in constant touch. He graduated from Syracuse University and, believe it or not, grew up in Manchester, Connecticut, to a loving older couple who are now buried in the Veterans Cemetery in Middletown. I have been there with him several times, and I thanked them while there. Incidentally, I gained 3 more grandchildren and a great-grandchild. I have been so happy to see how the expanded family has evolved in such a loving way together. It turns out his mother, as I, loved to write poems, and I would like to share one she wrote that touched me so much. I would like to have met her. The poem is called Identity. Once there were 2 women who never knew each other. One you do not remember, the other you called mother. 2 different lives shaped to make yours one. One became your guiding star, the other was your sun. The first gave you life, and the second taught you to live it. The first gave you a need for love, the second was there to give it. One gave you your genes, the other gave you a name. One gave you the bodily means, the other gave you an aim. One gave you emotions, the other calmed your fears. One saw your first sweet smile, the other dried your tears. One gave you up, it was all she could do. The other prayed for a child, and God led her to you. And now if you should ask the questions that you ponder, the answers are all there, there's no more need to wonder. Heredity or environment, which are you the product of? Neither, my darling, neither, just 2 different kinds of love.
Let us rise and sing our closing hymn celebrating unexpected joy and laughter.
They are tears for our cheekbones,
I know many of us are planning to stay for our congregational meeting, but as we consider leaving this place, remember to keep yourself open to God's goodness, our hearts open to receive unexpected joy and surprise. It was Anne Lamott who said, "Laughter is carbonated holiness."